Hey there, Contractor Cab here with Overseas Contractor Academy, and this week I want to talk more specifically about Colombia. So why did I come here? Like, we kind of covered some of the basics in the choosing a downtime location video, but specifically, I want to do a Colombia specific video. I did Thailand videos, I've done Philippines videos. I've done videos about other locations specifically, so I want to do one with respect to Colombia. So, and again, we're gonna try and keep this one a little shorter than we have been rolling, so let's roll that bumper video and get into it. Okay, so first things first, why did I come to Colombia initially? Well, the reason is that I did need some dental work, right? So I had a crown in the front that had broke, and because that was like out there front and center, anytime I smiled, anytime I did anything, like you could really see this broken ass tooth in my mouth. So I needed to fix that. And I went to a local dentist in Florida, and they were like, yeah, we'll fix it, $1,400. And I'm like, that's pretty pricey for one little tooth. So I started doing some research, and turned out that Colombia is known for two things, plastic surgery and dental work. And I only came to later realize it's because Colombian women especially, but even a lot of men, there's a big emphasis placed on how you look here. And so they do get, different kinds of plastic surgery. They do get their teeth fixed to where they're super nice and white and straight and all that. And because there's so much of a demand there, there's plenty of people providing those services, which means, like we talked about before, if there's a lot of people providing a service, the price tends to be lower, right? So I did some inquiries and found out that basically I could come to Colombia and fix my $1,400 problem for $300. And so that was like my first sort of initial reason to come to Colombia. Was I came down just on a quick kind of turnaround. I'll check it out for 5 days, see what I think, go to this dentist, get my grill fixed, and just kind of get a feel for the place. And obviously it turned out well because I returned multiple times. And the next reason that I ended up coming back to Colombia, like after I had initially checked it out, was it's a cheap flight, first off, really, really cheap. And secondly, I just wanted to get the heck away from the US. So there was all these overhyped news stories about Dr. Fauci, and he gave money, and the lab leak hypothesis, or is it a conspiracy? And social media companies started banning people for even freaking talking about it. I mean, it was just crazy to me. And and then it was first responders are they're all evil, they're all racist, they're all terrible people. And I'm like, well, these are the people putting their lives on the line to save other people. What the hell is going on here? And just everything just became so friggin' divisive and political. And I just had to get the hell away from it. I wanted to go somewhere that I wouldn't hear a peep about all that kind of garbage, and I could easily just tune it out, right? So, all the election crap and the fallout after the election and the COVID crap and the divisive social media stuff, I just had to get the hell away from it. And, I had already came here once for, 5 days. It was well, pretty cool down there. Didn't hear anything about there. So I decided to come back and just spend a little bit longer just getting the hell away from all that. So that time I think I came and I hung out for 3 or 4 weeks, right? And again, pretty cool. My Spanish got a little better. I went back stateside, and immediately, just after having a month of peace and quiet, I go back and hanging out with my parents, and I had just spent all of COVID living and trying to help them out and trying to keep them safe, which a lot of people did with their elderly parents. Well, I did that, and it was just all the stuff from just the constant bickering, man. If you ever watch old TV series from the Honeymooners, or I Love Lucy, whatever, the couple type situational comedies of the 50s and 60s. and it would just be like, Ralph is like, oh, bang, zoom to the moon house, like he's threatening he's gonna hit her, and then Lucy, you got some explaining to do, and the woman is always usually the smarter of the two, and like it's conflict, right? And I think that generation, they're just addicted to the damn conflict, and they just don't communicate worth a damn to each other. And so I would constantly be de-escalating even just conversations between the two of them, because it would be that's stupid, and why would you say it that way, and oh, that's just crazy, why would you even say that? And it's just like, oh God. So I was stressed out, quite honestly, after over a year of playing referee for the two of them. At some point I was so stressed out, quite honestly, that I got approved for a damn weed card in Florida, right? I don't like to smoke anything, just the way it feels in my throat and all that crap. But hey man, if you're gonna give me some tablets, they're gonna help me chill the hell out at night and not be like, have my stress level at like a 9.5. Great, and so for a while, yeah, that worked stress-wise, but damn, like, dude, I was eating everything in the house. Like, I was like really, really putting away way too much food. And so during COVID, I put on like 50 pounds just from the stress and the stress eating and the THC capsules. I wasn't doing it like every day, but just every couple of days or so when it all became too much, like, all right, I'm gonna take some cal, and then they could fight all they want. I'd just be like, yeah, it's cool, and like, no problem. So I went back after my second visit here, and it was like, all right, again, I just don't want that in my life. Like, if you guys choose to live that way, great, but I want the peace and quiet, right? So I decided to come back to Colombia, this time with the goal of just like, getting away from any of that stress and starting to really go, okay, I've got to fix this weight issue that I have saddled myself with. So that was kind of like the next thing. So I came back to Colombia and I started hitting the gym. I started to really try to get on top of the weight loss thing, get back into shape. Quite honestly, like, COVID was not a good time for hooking up, like that was like everyone stay the hell away kind of a year and a half. And so obviously not a lot of hookup happening during that time. But eventually you start to get to where like, hey man, I miss being able to just like even hug a woman or like hold a hand or get a kiss or dance or whatever the hell, much less something more. So it's like, I need to get back around single women again. And so gym, was a big part of that. And that self-confidence of, hey man, get in there and, do what you're supposed to do, get your mind right, get away from all that stress, get back in the gym and get out there and start like hooking up again. So that was another big part of that little stint that I did was, and that's been this stint where it was like, hey man, I need to get my ass in the gym. So not that any of you ever noticed, damn it, but I did lose 30 of the 50 pounds, right? So I've been working my ass off, got the arms back, the shoulders are back, the rest of it still needs some work, but I'm doing really good, right? I'm going in there 2.5 hours sometimes and like really dialed in the diet, and I'm walking everywhere instead of like riding anywhere. So, and of course, every now and then, getting some exercise at night when I hook up. So that's great, that was another big part of why I would want to come to Colombia, is just like, get myself back on track, getting back to where like I know I'm at my happiest and my best, like physically, socially, psychologically, and I'm not gonna be at my best around people that are bickering and fighting all the time. And I'm stressed out and I'm taking, stupid THC tablets just to deal with the stress. Like, that's not your best self, right? That's never gonna be your best self. Your best self is like when you're happy, you're healthy, you're moving, you're mobile, you're strong, and you're getting a lot of social interaction and you're being able to hook up with people. So that is, basically the last reason that like I really, really wanted to come to Colombia again. So yeah, I am very, very pro-Colombia right now, right? Basically, the gorilla's fixed. Like, I'm doing real good there. I'm in the gym all the time, probably stronger now than I have been in at least a few years. And I'm out there socializing and hooking up and meeting girls and stuff, and that's freaking awesome. And like, I've got the cool ass bachelor pad here, which, you know, we'll try to insert a video up here, like a real quick showing you exactly what the apartment is like. But dudes, I got a jacuzzi in the bedroom, which that really does add to the fun levels here. So, you know, I got the bachelor pad. I'm starting to get the muscles back. I'm starting to get, like, feel really outgoing and social again. You know, everything, the smile, the exercise, the socially, everything is just hooking up, and it's all pointing in the right direction. And I really attribute a lot of that to Colombia and Colombians, because they're friendly, they're outgoing, they're cool. They don't see a gringo well, some maybe, but most of them don't see a gringo as a target. Most of them are just like, oh wow, you're from a different place, so you know, you're a gringo, but you speak a little Spanish now, you must understand how things are, that's cool, let me, you know, here's some of my culture, explain some of your culture. And there's an exchange that happens there. It's a very dynamic kind of environment where it's just interesting, right? To meet new people and find out little things about Colombia. And it's like an onion, man. You just keep peeling it back, and there's new stuff all the time. So I'm very, very pro-Colombia right now. Been here for a while again. You know, eventually I'm gonna have to go back to reality and take another contract somewhere. But for now, I am just really, really enjoying it, and I recommend it to you guys. It is a great place to hang out and to visit. All right, so that's going to do it for this week. Just wanted to do a video about Colombia specifically, and why I'm here and what I get out of it and what I think other people would get out of it. You know, it's just all around great culture, great weather, great scenery. You know, I can't say enough positive things about it. So, you know, after you've gone overseas, you know, as usual, you got to roll up your sleeves, you got to get to work, get the information, get the knowledge, get the tools, and then get overseas, man. Make some of that overseas money. And then in your downtime, come to places like Colombia. And you'll kind of see, like, this is a great place to recharge and kind of reorganize and redirect your life. So until next time, we'll see you. Hopefully in the next week, we'll have another video. I'm going to probably do the Q&A video next week. So we'll see you then.